We had really limited means, and I remember one time I was frustrated. We helped so many people. Why aren't others helping us? And I remember one day kind of just stood up outside. I remember it quite vividly, just put my hand in, and when I grow up, I'm going to help somebody else.
From Boston to Yerevan, Edward Avedisian has touched the Armenian community in myriad ways. His last name has been carved into many of the most prestigious educational establishments and higher education institutions in the United States and Armenia.
A wonderful person. He was very kind, soft-spoken, but he was a musician.
Benevolent spirit, strategic thinking, penetrating vision, and fierce determination.
He was one of the single, modest and humble donors to our country.
Մեծ նվիրումով, բայց շատ մեծ լռությամբ արեց այնպիսի մեծ գործ, որ որքան էլ խոսենք, շատ քիչ է.
Ed's dedication was unwavering. He was deeply committed to Armenia.
There's no one that I respect more than Ed Avedisian. He's a very unusual human being.
Avedisian was born in Pawtucket, Rhode Island in 1937. From a young age, his Kharapetzi parents, Horan and Shushanik Avedisian, instilled the value of education in him and his siblings, Paramaz, Zavart, and Paul.
From an early age, Ed developed a strong love of music, as his parents loved music and encouraged him to play the clarinet in school. The only concern his father voiced was that it would be difficult to earn enough to make a living for himself and his family.
Therefore, it is no surprise that Edward excelled in his own educational pursuits, eventually attending Boston University on a scholarship which earned him both a bachelor's and a master's degree in music.
But it was Ed's dream and desire, and likely that is why he was always pursuing other sources of income, teaching students while still in high school, taking various odd jobs, and later getting involved in the financial markets.
His early exposure blossomed into a decorated professional career as a clarinetist, with the Boston Pops for 30 years and with the Boston Ballet Orchestra for 43 seasons. Avedisian's musical exploits brought him home to Armenia.
Ed's devotion to Armenia was manifested first as a musician, guest performing with orchestras in Yerevan, then in using his connections to create benefit concerts in the US to generate relief funds following the 1988 earthquake.
Avedisian had a proclivity for business literature and media. His interest in the world of finance led him to achieve some of his greatest accomplishments, which, in turn, was what allowed him to become such a seminal pillar in AUA's growth. Avedisian and his wife Pamela dedicated their newfound wealth to a myriad of projects locally in the United States as well as abroad in Armenia. When Ed learned of the founding of the American University of Armenia in the newly independent nation, Avedisian immediately latched onto this ambitious endeavor, sponsoring the establishment of the Center for Business Research and Development, CBRD, and the Center for Health Services Research, CHSR.
He committed $1.5 million towards endowments for two of our research centers. One was named after his sister, Onanian Center for Health Services Research and Development, and one was named after his brother, Paul Avedisian Center for Business Research and Development.
Avedisian was the principal donor and chair of the construction committee for the 100,000 square foot avant-garde AUA Paramaz Avedisian building, which was completed in 2008.
I must say that the opening of this building opened a very new horizon for AUA. It made us able to start undergraduate programs. We could not have done this without this new building. And of course, the undergraduate programs made the university what it is today. Of our more than 2,100 students, about 1,600, more than 3/4 our undergraduate students.
In never failing to recognize hard work, Ed Avedisian sponsored the Dr. Judson King Endowed Professorship and Dr. William Fraser Endowed Professorship at AUA in honor of two fellow board members who had contributed enormously to the university's advancement. Beyond his generosity towards AUA, he also sponsored the complete renovation of the high school in Hachtanak village, along with the installation of lights and trees at the Tsitsarnakabert Armenian Genocide Memorial. During the 2000s, Avedisian drove his philanthropy to new heights. From 2004 to 2005, he served as the sole benefactor and chair of the AUA Oversight Committee for the Nork Marash Medical Center, with the hopes of raising the quality of hospital standards to a U.S. benchmark. As an AMAA board and committee member, he founded the award-winning Koren and Shushanik Avedisian K-12 school, as well as the 7-building community center complex located in Malatya, Sepastia, Armenia.
The big thing about this school is, which we insisted on as a family, was it be in an area where kids were deprived, where there was not a good family situation, where the financial means were extremely limited. And when the AMA came to me one time, said, we've looked all over, but we could only find this one place. We don't think you're interested. Well, tell me, what is it? Well, it's in this place called Bangladesh, and it's run down, and I don't think you'll be interested. The kids don't have anything. I said, that's exactly where we want to be. And with that was a kickoff to the next 15 years, and here we are today.
Ed treasured the Avedisian School because he saw the impact of breaking the cycle of poverty and helping students reach their full potential. Today, all Avedisian High School student graduates have pursued higher education. Ed savored the notion of handing the first Avedisian High School AUA graduate her diploma.
These kids can go to AUA, it's need blind, it's just a matter of, do you have the educational standards? Can you pass these exams? And for that, you need to be educated. And that's what we hope to do, and let these kids go off and on their own. And many years later, when they're successful, they can come back and pay back to the Avedisian School and also to AUA. So we're very excited about this concept.
2000 թվականն էր, Էդ Ավետիսյանը այցելել էր կրթահամալիր ավարտական միջոցառմանը։ Ունեինք մի աշակերտուհի, մայրն է միակ աշխատողը եւ հնարավորություն չունեն երեխայի աչքի վիրահատությունը անելու։ Երբ ավարտվեց հանդեսը, Էդ Ավետիսյանը ոչինչ չասաց եւ եկավ ինձ հարցրեց. Մելանյա, այս երեխայի մասին ինձ կարող ես որևէ ինֆորմացիա տալ։ Մի քանի օր անց Էդ Ավետիսյանը Հայաստանում չէր, բայց վիրահատությունը եղել էր, բարեհաջող անցել էր։
Back in his home of Rhode Island, Avedisian established the Parmaz Avedisian Pharmacy Scholarship at the University of Rhode Island, as well as the Chobanian Professorship at the Boston University Medical School, the Boston University Tanglewood Scholarship. His generosity has placed his name on an endowed chair in perpetuity for the Boston Ballet Orchestra. His final philanthropic gift was his $100 million donation to Boston University to rename the BU School of Medicine to the Chobanian and Avedisian School of Medicine. His support also granted scholarships and funded cutting-edge research and education. As usual, Ed Avedisian did not want his name on any building, but rather hoped to solely dedicate the building to his childhood friend Dr. Aram V. Chobanian. It was only upon the latter's insistence that Avedisian's name was also included, establishing the new Boston University Medical School as the Aram V. Chobanian and Edward Avedisian School of Medicine.
Education, humanitarian institutes, modest but brilliant, unassuming, no limelights for them. They do their own thing very quietly. And it's such a treat to be connected to them and to have our name in connections.
He was, as I mentioned, one of the single ones. He never wanted his name to be in anywhere. And all my private conversations with him ended up, oh, Ashot, Oh, you know who the guy is that I'm naming after him? So who am I that something will be on my name?
You just can't put your name on something. I can't. But what is it bringing to where it's going? Are you going to just throw money at it? Or are you really looking for something? And in this case, yes, I am. What we're looking for is connecting the past, bringing it to the present, and hopefully continues on into the future.
He has and will always serve as a shining example for generations to come. His legacy will live on in the numerous buildings and initiatives he founded, which bear the names of his loved ones.
It is deeply gratifying to me knowing that all we have contributed has impacted the lives of so many, particularly the children, and that the impact doesn't end with Ed and me. All the students, professors, administrators, etc., that have benefited from our projects will further impact Armenia for decades to come. It's truly a never-ending circle of commitment. We celebrate their personal successes and all that it has contributed to strengthening Armenia. It has brought great meaning to our lives. As much as we have enriched the lives of others, we also have been greatly enriched.
Avedisian passed away on December 7, 2022 in Boston, Massachusetts, surrounded by his loving wife and family. He devoted himself to philanthropy and charity, all while selflessly keeping his name out of the limelight.
After I graduated, I began to meet some success, and I went back to one professor, and I said, look, you helped me a lot. I want to pay you back. He was Italian, and it didn't take long for him to get beet red and give me a sermon. And then he finally said, look, do you want to really pay me? I said, yes. Do it for somebody else.